Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. Dear friend, look, it is nowadays, it is a kind of training that people want to know and people are told and taught the way to succeed, and it is often also told that what are the behaviors, the attitudes, and the behaviors and attitudes of those who are successful people. So we often I too plus I too am a very humble trainer plus any other big trainer. They people are found saying that seven habits to be the most successful person, and these many habits, these behavior, these attitudes are going to make you a successful person. So it is good to understand what are needed, what is needed to become a successful person. It is really good. But at the same time, we also need to know that what are the habits, what are the attitudes, what are the behaviors of unsuccessful people, the failed people who never succeed in their life. What are their habits and attitudes, what are their behavior, and we also need to look upon ourselves. We need to reflect upon ourselves that if at all I am and either consciously or unconsciously having any of those bad habits or bad attitude, if at all there is any, so I need to get rid of that. I need to come out of that, and I need to become a person who is going to be a successful person. As for these bad habits are the attitudes or the behaviors are concerned, I think these are nothing anyway lesser than the disease, lesser than a malady. A person who is full of the diseases, how come will he she be able to, how come will he she be able to succeed? They will never be able to succeed. We too have chosen a topic, and this topic is that what are the habits of unsuccessful people, what are the behaviors of unsuccessful people, what they exhibit at their workplace. Let's look upon all of those seven behaviors one by one. The first thing is saying no to change. They say no to change. They don't want to change. While the only thing which is permanent here in this world, that thing is called change. The change is invincible. The change is unavoidable. If at all we are dreading the change, I think we will never be able to succeed or to become a better person at all. I think it is the change and the change. Even if at all I am not willing to change, you are not willing to change, the world is changing, the people are changing. So we do have to embrace the change instead of being frightened of that change. We need to embrace the change. Embracing the change, that is very important. That is extremely important. Those people who don't want to change, they people lag far behind. They people don't improve, and they people find themselves unable to face, unable to meet the challenges the life is posing upon them, the life is posing upon everyone else who is alive today. So, my dear friends and fellows, if at all we are ready to embrace the change, it actually means that we are a resilient person, and those who are resilient, they are bound to succeed. Nobody can stop them from a success. The success is there. So, my dear friends and fellows, never be afraid of the change at all. That is the number one thing. And now the number two thing is the second thing, that is avoid risk taking. Those people who remain unsuccessful, they also dread the risk taking unnecessarily. I don't recommend it at all. But if at all the risk is necessary, then too we need to well prepare it, we need to well calculate it, that what are the chances of success in it, what is the cost of failure, what is the chances of success, how many are the chances of succeeding here. So all of that must be calculated, and if at all we are not doing this, it actually means that we are not going to succeed at all. Look upon the life of those people who have become the big personalities today. If at all we look back upon them, we will be able to understand that these people have taken several calculated and well prepared risk, and obviously not without that. So, my dear friends and fellows, this is the second thing. And now the third thing is blaming anyone else for their own mistake. If at all a mistake happen, and it does happen, that is quite understandable. So accept the responsibility. But these people do not accept the responsibility at all. They people are seen blaming other people that he has done it and she has done it. I am not the one who did it. I did not know it. I'm not responsible for all that. But what does happen that they people lose the respect amongst the other people, the people with whom she is working. They lose the respect. Nobody respect them. Nobody trust them because they are totally irresponsible people. So, my dear friends and fellows, I think and I believe that we need to take the responsibility. No need to blame anyone else for at all. If at all the mistake happened by me, I must take the responsibility. I cannot afford, I cannot shift it upon anyone else, and that will lose my credibility. While my credibility matters a lot actually. So those people who don't accept the responsibility, they are bound to take the failure. And now the next thing is, that is a lack of, the fourth is a lack of self-discipline. They people are lacking the self-discipline as well. As for this self-discipline is concerned, that is very very important indeed. Maybe nothing is as important as for the success is concerned. Nothing is as important as the self-discipline, because the self-discipline actually means that it is a good control system. Look upon any vehicle, any boat or any aeroplane with a loose control system, with a poor control system, what is going to be the fate of this vehicle, boat or an aeroplane? The same is true with a human being as well. And if at all we are not having a good control system, it actually means that we are not going to succeed at all. We are going to face a failure. And dear friends and fellows, we do have to avoid the failure. We don't have to become a failure. Although failure is not bad at all, but if at all the failure becomes a routine, and the failure is there because we are having the bad attitude, the bad behavior. I think this must be replaced with a good behavior, with a good attitude, with a good habit, with a good principle, with a good way of working. So dear friends and fellows, they a lack of self-discipline, that is the fourth bad habit, the fourth bad behavior. And the fifth is negativity. Neglecting networking. They people, they don't understand, they don't emphasize, they don't prioritize the networking has become very important. It always remained very important, because if at all we are not connected well with certain other people, if at all we are not learning from them, if at all we are not teaching them, if at all we are not cooperating them, if at all we are not collaborating with them, and this I think that is going to be very bad, very drastic. We must come out of all that, and we must understand, and we must prioritize the networking is very very important indeed. Now the next and the sixth is being closed off to feedback. Being closed off to feedback, they don't care about the feedback at all. While this feedback too, this is actually learning from the opinion, from the comments, from the constructive criticism, and even from the harsh criticism of other people, regardless of the intention, regardless of the motive of somebody's criticism. I think we can learn from it, and we should be so much open minded, we should be so much patient, that we must learn from it. And learning from this is very very important. It is very very good indeed. That is, being closed off to feedback. Now the seventh and the last is, that is having a negative attitude. Having a negative attitude, negativity does not allow anybody else at all to keep moving, to keep developing, to keep progressing. Negativity is the worst kind of baggage. We must get rid of it as soon as we can, and we should adopt the positivity. What is this negativity? I think whatever bad is there in this world, in the life, in any other person, if at all we develop on it, if at all we stay focused upon this, we are seen exaggerating it. So it actually means that there is a negativity. Although the troubles are there, the problems are there, the flaws are there in myself, in you, in all the people, but it does not mean that we should start exaggerating it. It does not mean that we should dwell upon it. I think it's okay to understand what's wrong, what are the flaws, and how can we correct it. We only need to think. We only need to think, how can I make it better? How can I correct it? What can I do upon all that? And above all, we need to focus upon what we can control instead of staying focused upon what is out of the control, what is out of the control of mine, what is out of the control of yours. So that's all. So these are the seven habits of the seven behavior, the seven attitude, the seven ways, and the seven styles of those people who always remain unsuccessful in their work, in their profession. So dear friends and fellows, I think today's discussion was really good one. I beg permission from you at the moment. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.